The whole idea of the social notion of it and the environmental piece of it is really, I think, leading us down a path where you have corporations then that will be speaking for the left, even if they don't want to.
Did my people at Delta do something we don't like? I'm going to talk to the CEO about it.
No, Delta's good company.
That's right. Yes, they are.
Who's the question going to?
It's going to you, Josh.
Okay, good. All right. Look,
ready?
Here's the bottom line. Companies should be concerned about their bottom line. They have a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders, to their bottom line. And all this other stuff, they may feel good about it. It has nothing to do with the bottom line. So don't interfere with my ability to make money. I'm not going to buy any stock in your company. I'm not even going to buy your products anymore with this woke nonsense. And a perfect example is Disney's public approval plummeted from 77% to 33% when they decided to get involved in the Don't Say Gay law in Florida. Now, why? Why? That's none of their business. It has nothing to do with their company because they let a few employees try to determine what the company's going to do in a social and environmental way. Government is about the bottom line and nothing else.
They make Lever 2000, I hear, the soap. It's the last time I use Lever 2000. I'm going to vote with my personal hygiene products.
Vote with my soap.
Vote with my soap. How did I not know that one?
So when it's interesting to me when Republicans don't like something that goes about talking. No. You call it woke. When Democrats don't like something that's being said or that's being done, they want to cancel it. We all got to take a breath here and take a step back. Because in the context, the way we talk about these things, both Elon Musk and Steve Jobs, who I think are the greatest business visionaries of my lifetime, would have probably been called woke or been attempted to cancel. Musk wanted to make electric cars. And I differ with Dana. I have a little different point of view about ESG, about the environmental and social and governance piece. I don't think it's all political. I think there's something to be said for it. But under your analysis, you'd have called Musk woke. You might have called Steve, because Musk said we're going to take the combustible engine and make it obsolete. We're going to do something different.
But he made profit. That was his company.
I know, but it's still, this guy's saying, look, I'm not here to, but I'm just saying, look, we all got to take.
Here to argue.
we got to take a step back here. Jobs, who revolutionized the way we buy and consume groceries, music, other entertainment content. He might have been called woke. He might have been, someone might have tried to cancel him because they didn't like how easy or how free it might have been. All I'm saying is some people deserve to be called woke. Some people deserve to be canceled. But before we quickly and just reflexively do it, I think we ought to just take a breath. Everybody, Democrats, Republicans, independents alike, and assess things without the political lens that I think we all seem to conveniently and reflexively do.
If Elon Musk wants to start a company for electric cars, he should be able to do it. He is not taking,
he's the richest man in the world.
He's not taking a company and changing it. Go ahead.
Right. The important thing here is to define what we're talking about. And Dana got to it, but I just want to expand it because people at home probably don't know what ESG is, right? It stands for environment, social, governance, issues, and it's a corporate policy that's being instituted in some companies, mainly large companies, because they can shoulder the burden that small companies can't. This policy exists independent of its shareholders and its customers. It actually gets between them, right? It shifts the attention onto social justice and climate issue. Again, to your point, putting politics over profits. So if I were a shareholder, I would be livid. I would sell my stock immediately. I would only invest in companies that do not participate in this. There's another little uglier part going here. Unilever is like a really, really, really wealthy person who brags about giving to charity, even though it's a tiny percentage. They never give enough to feel it. So what they're asking and demanding of other companies, they can't do. So all these big giant companies, they are virtue signaling. They're saying, look how good we are. We care about social issues. And they're only doing it to cover their asses. And we know that. That's all the woke corporate policy is to keep the activism out of their front and backyard. This is a virtue signal, just like a super expensive graduate degree is for a wealthy person, a wealthy dumb person who wants to buy a degree so they look super smart. That's all this is. This makes them look compassionate. It's like a 6-figure liberal arts degree that a rich kid gets, and then they get their debt canceled, and we end up paying. That's what ESG is. ESG is simply a corporate policy that hurts the shareholder and the customer. Don't forget that, because they don't want you to know that. They want you to remain confused.
Can I add one thing? So, and then you get a score. So your company gets a score, and they'll put that on their LinkedIn, right? Or so for younger employees that want to come work at the company, say, well, our ESG score is a 98. Like, oh, well, wow.
Yeah.
Well, they must be amazing.
It's a virtue signal.
Yes, exactly.
It's a pure virtue. I'm sure Fox isn't doing this, right, Jesse?
I hope not.
Because if they are,
today.
I changed my mind. This is the greatest thing.
Are you saying we have to give so much to charity that it hurts?
Yes.
I never heard that before. Ahead, the ladies of The View lobbying an ethnic attack at Nikki.
Ladies of The View are back and causing more controversy. Co-host Sunny Hassan taking a cheap shot at former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, accusing her of trying to hide her Indian heritage.
I'd love to see Nikki Haley. I'd love to see Liz Cheney. I'd love to see
Nikki Haley, the chameleon.
Nikki Haley was an incredibly effective governor
What is
of
her real
South
name
Carolina.
again? There are some of us that can be chameleons and decide not to embrace our ethnicity so that we can pass.
Sonny, I don't think that's fair.
You
go by a different name.
And Ambassador Haley fired right back.
They can't stand the fact that a minority female would be a conservative Republican. I embrace my Indian heritage. I have written 2 books that describe the struggles that my family had, what it was like growing up. When they go after something like your name or your looks, they don't have anything else. That shows you're winning, and I'll take that win all day long. What happened on The View is it's Democrats that are racist. These liberal extremists are the ones that are racist. They're the ones that think minorities are incapable of going to the DMV to get an ID to vote. They're the ones that are racist that say minority parents are incapable of finding the school for their children.
Greg, you had a reaction to that.
I think this is something everybody should remember. When you live in a bubble, you can never see around the corner. Came up with that this morning. Isn't that amazing? Whether you're left or you're right, if you're in a bubble, you will always be surprised by your own curated ignorance. And that's what happened to Sunny. You would think somebody with a made-up name like Sunny would be able to see around the corner when she criticizes Nikki for having what she thought was a made-up name, but it's not. It's a real name. So when you live outside a bubble, you would be aware that you can actually see the second step. But the problem with The View is that they're an entry-level version of awareness. They can't, because they're a bubble within a bubble. So they have no idea. She was like totally surprised. The girl goes, but your name is Sunny. And she goes, well, that's different. I mean, no one can pronounce my name. And it's like, no. You should have seen that coming, but you can't because you live in a bubble. You can't see around the corners because you're trapped. And it is so funny that her name is Sunny. We said it before, but she says Sunny is death row. And I would just advise The View to find a smart conservative for their show because they need to have somebody there that can kind of inform them. There is absolutely, Harold, no learning curve on The View. Have you ever noticed this? For a show that makes so many mistakes, it's only getting worse. It's like when we make a mistake, the show always gets better because we learn from it. They just get further and further down into the morass of their own incompetence and ignorance. Frankly, I'm appalled.
Like when you thought Tone Loc was dead, the show got much better after that.
Yes. And remember when I thought that veal was a different animal? Remember?
Yeah, you didn't know what animal.
I didn't know what animal. And then when I learned, I instantly became more aware of what a veal is. It's actually a calf.
Baby calf.
Baby calf.
Still learning.
Dan, if you remember the topic we're on,
I do. Because this is the other thing. I just like, do they read? I mean, this attack on Nikki Haley has been made so many times and been debunked so many times that if you follow politics at all, you know that. Nikki means little one. It's on her birth certificate. And
isn't her middle name Nikki?
Yeah, it's her middle name. And she goes, it's, I don't remember the first name, but Nikki's her middle. And then her last name is Haley because she got married and adopted her husband's name. And the thing that's funny to me about The View as well is why not just celebrate the fact that she was an amazing governor? You can disagree with her, whatever, but she's accomplished a lot of things. Instead, they have to tear her down for something that's not even true. It's bizarre.
There is so much hate that's coming from the left. They have to make it up And the amazing part of it is when she says, when they say, your name, you call yourself Sonny. And she says, that's because Americans are too stupid or undereducated to be able to say Asuncion. I mean, really? We're stupid? And therefore, we can't say your name. And therefore, she shouldn't be able to say the name that's on her birth certificate. No, it really is classic. Point the finger at someone, and 3 are pointing back at yourself.
He's talking to me? I mean, I was going to give it to Jesse now.
I figured it's your turn.
Her name on the certificate is Nimarata Nikki Randhawa.